So as I'm checking the news this morning, I see operator Starsky talking about another dead general. And this was really interesting. So we're going to watch him first for about 30 seconds, and then we'll go to the Kyiv Post and see what we can understand about this guy. Here we are with Starsky.
Hello, my friends. My name is Operator Starsky, and it's day 631 of the terror Russian invasion of Ukraine. A top-ranked Russian general, Vladimir Sviridov, former commander of the terror Russian 6th Air Force and Air Defense Army, found dead in Russia in his house together with his wife. The Russian sources report that the general...
Now, the first thing that's interesting is where he was found dead, in a arguably safe place from Ukraine. But he didn't have Ukraine to worry about, it doesn't appear. It looked like it might be more that he had to worry about the Russians.
Sviridov and his wife died approximately a week ago. The cause of death is unknown, apparently because no open windows were involved this time. But knowing terror Russians, I have a theory called Novichok.
Okay, Novichok. What is Novichok? Had to look it up. Novichok is the name given to the group of nerve agents created stealthily in the later phases of the Cold War by the Soviet Union, constitute the fourth generation of chemical warfare agents. Like other nerve agents, they are organophosphorus compounds designed to be incurable and undetectable. Here's what the Kyiv Post had to say about this guy. And I wasn't familiar with him, but you learn a lot while you're going through this. Former Russian commander who criticized Putin found dead. Okay, now it's starting to make sense what's happening. In mysterious circumstances. Lieutenant General Vladimir Serdovov. Okay, so Lieutenant General would be a pretty high-ranking officer. The former Russian commander who once criticized President Putin for running a third-rate air force. Stop. If you're an authoritarian leader, you have to curb this kind of indignity. You can't allow people to speak to you this way because authority and respect and loyalty is your currency, just like in a democracy, people's goodwill and votes are your currency. So authoritarians, and now I know that Russia is a democracy, but does anybody really think that the last elections were fair, or that Putin is not going? I saw an article yesterday or the day before saying Putin is thinking about running for re-election. He might not have decided yet, but does anybody really believe that Putin won't win the next election? It's stacked against him. It has the guise of democracy, but it's really an authoritarian regime. Okay, and you have to deal with authoritarians in a different way than you deal with democratically elected people. Okay, Lieutenant General Vladimir Serdov, 68, and his wife, Tatiana, 72, have been dead for around a week. They're dead for a week, and they're just discovering this? Like, he didn't show up to the office and nobody got suspicious? The Russian telegram channel Baza said, first they said that gas service workers have already taken measurements and no excess of permissible concentration of harmful substances had been detected. Okay, why they would even ask that, unless they're worried about something like, nerve agents being part of the package. Why did it even go to that place? Like that's not what in the United States we would do. We'd be like, let's check to see if this guy had a nerve agent. Like, it doesn't make any sense, but it does in their context. What caused the death of Vladimir and Tatiana Surodov is still unknown. In one interview, well, it's not unknown. So we don't know the proximal cause of his death, whether it was a nerve agent. He wasn't thrown out of a window. There's no bullet holes. We don't know that. But the distal cause of his death, the actual underlying reason, appears to be criticizing Putin, and that's probably not a good thing to do, at least not for a Russian officer. In one interview, he said, quote, "A pilot must have about 100 hours of flight time per year for full combat readiness. However, this is not the case. The average flight time in the Army is currently 25 to 30 hours. But you can't do that to your authoritarian dictator. You can't say all the awesomeness that's going on isn't awesome, or you wind up in trouble. And that's what it appears has happened here. So you can't speak truth to power. You have to agree that the dictator is awesome and you have to go along with the party line, or you are the problem, not the problem that exists. See, in a meritocracy, if the problem exists and you call it out and say that's a problem and here's how to fix it, that's a plus. Here it's not. It's perhaps signing your own death warrant. In another, and again, we don't know that this is what happened, but it looks like it points that direction. In another, he said, we are forced to appoint not fully trained officers because there are no better ones. Well, certainly a lot of organizations have felt that kind of pressure, or that kind of, I wish we had better people that we could put into these positions. But that's a big insult, a big threat in an authoritarian regime, where in other places it's just a complaint about the way that things are. For the same reason, we are sending the military academies third-ranking pilots. This did not happen in the past. Okay, so it didn't happen in the past, but now it's happening in the present. And who's in charge right now, and who's running for office in March of 2024, although he doesn't know if he's making up his mind yet. Yeah, you can't attack the boss like that. That's very, very dangerous. Previous to the public falling out, Putin awarded Surdov the title of Honored Pilot of Russia in 2005. In February, FSB Major General, so this isn't the first time that this has happened before, the article points out. In February, FSB Major General Vladimir Makarov was found shot dead in his home near Moscow in an apparent suicide after being sacked by Putin. But there's so many of these kinds of incidents that the article points out. There's even a Wikipedia page dedicated to the topic of famous or important Russian business people who were found dead in the past 2 years. Suspicious deaths of Russian business people 2022 to 2023. Like, if they have to create a Wikipedia page for this, something's not right. Okay, so just look at the list. I'm just going to scroll through it, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 20. I'm at 25 right now, and that's a 26 in 2022 alone, and that's just like suspicious, high-profile folks. That's just 2022. And 2023, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, so far in 2023. Okay, so, and that's, yeah, I mean, like Prigozhin and others, like, we know that some of these, they didn't just all fall out of hotel windows accidentally. Like, their spatial coordination is not that bad. Something's going on. Okay, I just wanted to let you know what was going on, and I saw this with Starsky. Good work, Starsky. He was on the spot with that, and I looked it up, and lots of verification from legitimate publications here, including the Kyiv Post. Yeah, this is just how Russia rolls. I mean, and so they're kind of hurting themselves. So I feel bad for the guy, but at the same time, I don't feel bad for the guy because of what he is doing to Ukraine. And I look at the system and I think, wow, how effective are you if you're doing this to your own people? Now, it's keeping others in line. Like, so here's the real point. What Putin has done, if he has done this, is keep others in line from criticizing him, but now these others can't speak truth to power, so they can't fix the things that are broken. So it keeps the system continuing to be deformed. And that's great for Ukraine, but for the system, it's absolutely horrible, and you can just see this in Technicolor. Okay, thank you for your time. Thank you for the attention, the likes, the shares, the subscribes, the coffees, and thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.